to another episode of Thoughts Spoken Wisely podcast. I'm your girl Jada. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let me know how you feel about everything that's been going on, the different topics, what you want me to talk about. I'm super excited that you are still tuned in. You already know that this is your safe space, your weekly talk for all things growth, all things healing, all things thoughts, but most of all things God. Y'all, I don't think that I'm gonna get tired of saying that I'm super excited for another episode. I think this thing feels so good, considering that I'm not doing this out of my own will. Like, I'm not doing this because I absolutely want to do this, but I feel like every time that I cut on a camera, it's literally because the Lord is just working. He's just working. I can't say anything else. I just know that every time that I cut on the camera, I'm super excited to just share what I'm going through or what the Lord has revealed to me. Today, I really just want to talk about one of the shorts that I posted. I'm actually going to put the clip in at some point. It was a really emotional clip for me. Only thing that I can really say is that I'm just trusting the Lord. I'm waiting for him to show and direct and guide me into the spaces that he would have me be in. Ultimately, when I posted this clip, it was just me being vulnerable again, me being just me, and I didn't post a clip thinking, like, let's go ahead and cry. It wasn't that. But y'all, these past few weeks, y'all have seen like the transitions that I'm going through, whether it have been the conversation about being a mom, the conversation about work, friendships, all of these things that, I don't know, like, that I'm going through, that I'm actively working through, that the things that God is like uprooting and preparing like a new foundation, it has really gotten intense for me. So when I posted this clip, I asked the question, like, has anyone ever experienced a time where God was trying to get you out of where you are now to get you to where you're going or where he wants you to go? And it's so hard to let go of the space in which you are right now, because it's people depending on you to make the right decisions. Like in my case, I have 3 children. And so right now, the pressing that's on my heart, where the Lord is transitioning me from one area to the next. Like, he's literally pushing me into my next. And a few things that he's shown me over the past maybe 2 weeks was the fact that the way that I've surrendered, I think I told y'all this on the last episode, the way that I've surrendered has been in increments. The one area where he's literally opening me up and showing me where I went wrong or what I can be doing better or how to better surrender myself is in my finances. I think we all have this thing where it's hard to believe that God will do something for you if you haven't always been a believer and you're just stepping into this space of having faith or, figuring out your belief and actively trying to get to know God. It's hard if you've been a non-believer majority of your life, right? And I'm not saying that that's the case for me, but I understand how that could cause some confusion, because you're asking me to surrender, like throw my hands up, relinquish everything when it comes down to my finances. And it's like, But Lord, I'm the one who has to pay the bills. I'm the one that got to, get the car note, put the gas in, all this stuff, get the groceries. I'm the one that has to do all of this. So I think that naturally we are on guard when it comes down to giving God our finances. And I'm not saying tithing, because I'll explain to you what he said to me a few weeks ago. He literally said to me that I want total access. I don't want a partial access to your finances. I want the total, the all, whatever it is. And in my head, I'm like, Lord, but I thought that I was doing a good job because I tithe, right? So I always tithe. And I make sure that he, like, with no questions asked, that 10 or whatever I can give to a ministry, to homeless, to whatever that organization is, whatever I can do to support, to serve, to give, I give, right? But I make sure that that first 10 is his. I don't even want to see the first 10 because I know where it's going, right? And I'm very intentional about the first 10 belongs to God. The thing about it is, I was just so adamant about it. I was like, Lord, like, I give you my first 10. And he responded and said, that's just the portion. If you really want to get better in me, if you really want the promises that I have for you, the 10 wouldn't even matter, because you're not allowing me to have total access. And when I say total access, I mean, I was going down the rabbit hole again, like 10%, that's all you ask for. I give it. And then the rest, I pay my bills. I give when I can. But you saying total access, what does that even look like for me to give you total access of my finances? And it goes beyond the asking the questions about what you should eat or what you should buy or what you should spend your money on. It goes past that, right? And I was sitting, y'all, I really think that my favorite space to talk to the Lord in is my bathroom. I think because you can just close the door and be away from everybody. Recently I tried my closet and it was cool, but the kids, I don't know, like they wanted something when I was in the closet. But I guess that's just a fun fact. My favorite place to pray or to talk to God is in my bathroom. So I'm having this conversation again about my finances with the Lord in my restroom. And I'm just like, I give you the 10. What more do you want? Or what more can I give you? And I'm like, mind you, this back and forth has been happening about my job. Y'all already know. This back and forth between the job has been causing some frustrations. And I think, like, recently, the way that he said this to me, I was like, I have to literally surrender where the finances come from. So I have to let it go. I have to let the job go. Like, it can't hold such a heavy space in my heart, because if I'm putting my finances or where the finances come from above God, then I'm still in the wrong, right? Like, I'm still lacking. I'm still, being disobedient. And when he allowed me to see this, like, he wants total access to every inch of me. And it consists of my finances as well. And the way that I heard it was like, have I not provided for you before? And I told y'all in a couple episodes ago, I've been unemployed just without children. And like I said, my resume is what it is, But the way that he said this is like, I provide you with the tools and the capabilities to go into a workplace to perform these job duties and these tasks, and then you get paid for it. Like, that resource comes from me. Yes, you may give me the 10, but you hold the finances, you hold that sum above, or you put it in like this high value space because you feel like that's the only thing that you can rely on, whether it be an increase, a promotion, what your next is going to look like. That's something that you feel like you still have control over. And I don't want you to feel like you have control over your finances to the point where I don't have control over your finances, or you're not relying on me to still provide for you. Because knowing that you're getting a check every 2 weeks, it's almost like, okay, well, yes, God provided, but if the check wasn't there, will God still provide for me? And so that thing hit hard. That thing hit super, super hard. And in the video clip, that's what you pretty much saw. So just to go over my last video, we really have to trust in the Lord. We really have to stop allowing fear to get in our way. Because I'm having a conversation, like, just that little bit that you guys got, it started with the conversation that I was having after church on Sunday. And I've literally been feeling like this hard, like this heavy pressing on my chest, right? To leave from where I am and go elsewhere. And my whole thing about this is like, the way that the Lord had just put this on me was like to explain to me that I'm not surrendering everything to Him. And when I say everything, I mean everything. And if you know yourself, if you hold yourself accountable the way that you're supposed to, you'll know when you're not surrendering all of you to Him. Because it's easy, like, it's easy to see where you're lacking, where it feels uncomfortable, where you don't have peace. Those are the places where you're not surrendered. And so He says to me, like, the reason why you're trying to figure all of these things out, it all boils down to one thing. You have not surrendered your finances to me. And I'm like, I thought I did. I mean, I pay my tithes. So then He explained to me, like, giving me a portion versus all is two different things, bruh. It's two different things. I can have your tithe and not have the whole entire finances. Like, I can have that little portion if that's all you want me to have. But literally, I want to be your financial partner. Like, let me be your accountant. Like, let me take over these finances for you. Because crazy enough, I'm the one who's providing all of the finances that you have, all of the resources that you have. And the fact that you just won't let me in on this portion, like everywhere else, hands down, you have me. When it comes to your friendships, your relationships, your children, your health, you're there. I have it. When it comes down to your finances, you be literally trying to figure out, why is this bill like this? Where can I stretch this? How can I stretch this? How can I save this? And the only thing that you could really say is that you pay your tithes. That's literally what he's showing me. And so I'm getting frustrated with myself. And I'm like, because I asked for this wholeness, this renewing, it comes with that uprooting of foundation. The foundation of wealth, the foundation of money in my family, on my lineage, it has not been pretty. I feel like all of us have been trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. And I said that it stops with me. And so I'm in this space and I'm like, well, Lord, what am I supposed to do? And He's like, give me the finances, which means give me the job. My job. Yeah, the job is causing you to be sick anyway. So give me the job. And I'm like, but the benefits come with the job and my kids with the. And he's like, either you want more and better or you want to be stuck, complacent, lacking. And I'm like, bruh, I want to follow you wholeheartedly. I literally want to follow you. I want you to be in control. I don't want to lack. I want to create this wealth for my children. And I'm just like, really? Like, you want me to move from this space? And it's not that I don't want to move, but it's like, before I make that first move, can you, I don't know, open another door before I just walk out? Because it doesn't feel comfortable, especially when you have children. Like, to be all in and say that you're going to follow the Lord and you got kids to take care of by yourself, that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. I don't like it. But it's like every chance that the Lord gets, he pressing on me. It's like you got to listen. Because you can't get everything that he has for you until you actually surrender this one space. Like you did it in all of the other areas of your life. But this one space, you make that move and it'll just change the trajectory of just your life, generations, your children. And it's like, bro, this thing hurt. Like, to literally just throw up your hands. Usually we throw up, like when you see people throw their hands up and it's not an act of worship, it's like, get out my face. It's like, he ain't calling me to tell him to get out his face. He like, literally, throw your hands up. I want you, all that you are, all that you have. I want it for me. Like, do it for me. Do it with me. If we're together, if you and I are together, that means that we're working. Like, you can't work apart from me. Literally. You are just a branch. And he said, I am the vine, you are the branches. Anything that is apart from me will be nothing, okay? And because I have chose to be a part of who he is, it's like obedience, surrender, trust the process. And y'all, this thing is getting, it has gotten me. I'm not even gonna lie. But I just know and I believe that on the other side, and I'm saying when I make this decision, but as I make this decision, I see that the best is yet to come. That this is literally just going to change me forever for the best, because I don't know, like, I'm not a follower of people. But when you say something for God, I'm all on it, hands down. It's just that he just stirred up the pot a little bit, shifted me a little bit, rocked me a little bit. And I'm just like, I got to put my best foot forward. I don't know who else needed to hear this, who else is going through something and it's hard to make a decision. The Lord is never going to tell you to stay in a place that is keeping you from getting all that you need. The Lord is not going to tell you to move from a place unless it is best for you. The Lord is not going to allow you to stay complacent in a place, because he wants us to grow. He wants us to evolve. He wants us to change, and he wants us to follow him. The best thing that we can do is follow God. When he told us that we were to go and make disciples, Making a disciple means that every day you're taking up your cross daily and following God. Making a disciple is being able to take on and continuously strive to have the same characteristics as Jesus. And right now, as I go through this thing, I can cry and smile at the same time because I've seen the Lord do work before in my life, in others' lives. And I trust him. It's just like that one thing that like you want to still have control of. It's like, no, you have to relinquish all control. And that is where he is calling me to. That is where he's probably calling you to. Relinquish all of your control. He wants to have total control of everything that you are, everything that you have, everything that you will be. He got the whole world in his hands. Why don't you think that you fit in that whole world that's in his hands? You belong to him. That's all. That is it. That is all. The Lord is just so strategic in the way that he does things, because every time that I would get to this point, he would show me that it's a fear that I have about being totally surrendered in the space of finances. And it probably comes from how I grew up, where I've always seen my mom and my grandmother hold a steady job. My grandmother worked 46, 47 years as a nurse. And my mom has always held a job, but she was always about her business. Like it was never a we not gonna eat, or it was like we struggled. We definitely had some things to work out. Like it was definitely kinks there. It was definitely times where we didn't have or we had to go without. But it was a thing where it was like every day I'm getting up and I'm going to work. And and I'm sure I'm not the only one who heard this, but a lot of older people would say, you get that good government job with them good benefits and you stay there. And coincidentally, like, yes, I got the good government job, but to stay there sounds a bit crazy for me now, because I thought I would. I thought that I would, retire. And I thought that, keep holding on to whatever it is that I can get from this thing. But the Lord showed me that I had become fearful when it comes down to letting go of things with my finances. Mostly because, when a bill is due and you can pay the whole thing, but if you pay the whole thing, then you might not have enough to make it to that next week or whatever. Like, just in case you needed some pocket change. I've been a victim of that. Like, okay, the bill is $400, we're gonna pay $200 because I could use, some pocket change or whatever the case is. But in this case, he's literally revealed to me the reason why it's so hard for me to detach from my job, or the job, because it's not my job. I'm working on that. I'm not gonna claim something that I feel like can be replaced, right? So the Lord is still working on me when it comes to the job, right? Because the fear of not having the benefits and the finances to go hand in hand, it's a bit scary. It's not something that we just all sign up for. Like, okay, the Lord said move. I think we desperately be in a place where it's like, before I move, Lord, can you give me something, or like show me what the next is? Like, don't lead me into an unfamiliar space where I have to figure it out. Like, I was already figuring it out, even with the steady income, even with the benefits that it came with. I was figuring it out. But don't lead me into a space where I know nothing about and I have to figure it out. Like, literally build this foundation all over again, no matter what is going to look like, right? And so he showed me that I'm very, very fearful of, or I was fearful of detaching or departing or separating from the job because of the benefits that I felt like I have. And it more or less pertains to my children. Like, nobody wants to walk away from a space when your kids got health care. You don't really have to worry about any health, dental, eye, anything when it pertains to them being taken care of. When it comes down to the food being put on the table, you know that you got that steady check. Like, you know it. And that was one of my things. Like, are my kids going to, are they going to be able to have, you know, the same healthcare benefits? Like, will I still keep them, you know, up to date and have them do all of the things? And he literally said and showed me in his word that a lot of his disciples had questions, right? A lot of his disciples had questions about leaving their home, leaving wives, leaving family, and going and starting a new, leaving their jobs and going to start a new life following Christ. And he showed me so well. Mind you, the course of these 2 weeks, I've been watching The Chosen. I think that that is a really great picture and depiction of what the Bible looked like, or what it looked like to live in those times, and having to lay down everything and pick up your cross. And it's like, I'm following Jesus. And it was just like such a great time to see who was believers versus non-believers, like what it meant to be like a Jew, what it meant to be a Sadducee or a Pharisee, like all of those things. It really meant something. But I think what stood out to me is the way that Jesus called people. And this is where it gets heavy for me, because when Jesus calls you into a space that you're unfamiliar with, it's hard when you have children, when you have a spouse, when you have family, when you have loved ones that has always depended on you to make the right decisions, or has just always depended on your presence, you know? And so it gets really hard, like just seeing these episodes, and I'm like, mind you, I came across it maybe a year ago, or became more familiar with it about a year ago, and I was like, you know what, I want to watch it, but I never really sat down and focused in on watching it. And so the past 2 weeks, I'm like, I want to sit down and really just watch, just to see. And the first episode got me because the Lord showed me like how he chooses us. He calls us by name. And not only does he call us by our name, like like literally saying Jada, but it's Jada, my daughter. Like he calls me daughter. And that right there had me in tears, because it's like you didn't just say, hey, I want you. You didn't say number 900,046. He didn't say that. He said, Jada, my daughter. And I'm like, you really chose me for your glory, for your good. You chose me. You called me by name. And that got me. Like, I was so, like, my heart just kind of like melted, because it was a sense of relief. Like, I'm not just being called by any old body. Like, Jesus has called me. Not only did he call me, but he called me, and it felt good to be called and identified and recognized and seen, right? And so as I continue to watch this, I get on to Simon and seeing how the frustrations of my everyday, like what I'm thinking about work, how lately it's been getting more attention from me. It ain't get the best of me, but it's been getting more attention from me. Like my focus has literally been in a space of like, what am I going to do next? How does my next look? What are you asking me to do with this job, Lord? And for him to call Simon and things weren't right in his profession, he's fishing, and it becomes frustrating when you owe people, when you got a family and you're trying to figure out what's for dinner. Can we borrow this from my brother or from my sister or from my mother? Like that, those are my thoughts. Can I borrow this? And then it's like, borrowing gets on my nerves because you got to pay this person back. But Simon is in debt, and it's just so familiar. We be in spaces where we don't feel good. We really don't know where to turn to. And it's like some of those times the Lord is either trying to instruct you on how to do better with your resources, or he's literally telling you, like, I've called you to another thing and you just ain't, you're not picking up on that just yet. The fact that the Lord was showing me the frustrations of people that he chose, people that he had called, I was like, wow, like this is too familiar. And it's something to be watching, like physically being able to see or watch who you feel like you are right now. And then you see them going through these things, and it's like the weight of their problems were lifted when they were obedient to the call. And I'm in this space where it's like, Jada, just be obedient to the call. Like, he's literally showing you that you are chosen, that he personally chose you. And he's just allowing me to see the differences in the ones that he chose, whether it's like they were deep in sin, they were down in debt, they were like they weren't good with their words, they were angry and fighting, they struggled with unforgiveness, they had the love of money and greed in their hearts. Like, all of these things, all of these characteristics, all of these actions and encounters that people had prior to following Jesus, it was like, this is where you are. You're in that crossroad of trying to figure out which way do you step out. And in my case, it's like, I'm willing to step out. But then the part of me that he's like, but you're fearful, is you want to know what the next looks like. I'm not telling you what the next look like. You have to trust me. And so showing me over the past few weeks, The Chosen has opened my eyes, because if Mary could literally be changed and be seen where she is or where she was at the time, and the Lord just met her right where she was in her sin. She was a drunkard, and she was struggling, like she was demon possessed. And I'm like, okay, like he literally still saw her, even with everything that she had going on. She was literally at the bar, like he met her right where she was. And I'm like, okay, like not only has the Lord opened my eyes to see like what I've been in has hurt me, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because it had me kind of like wavering, like in a back and forth type of movement, because just being unsure about, did God say this? Did God say that? Am I really listening? Have I paid attention? Is my discernment this? And it's like the Lord actually showing me bits and pieces of how he called, his disciples and where he called them from, it's like that thing resonated so hard for me, because it's like the Lord really called me out of some spaces. And I think like this is my first time to say like the Lord is calling me out of a position, which is the job. Like he's shown me the benefits of being with him versus being, with this employment. And the biggest thing is like stress. Like I didn't call you to be stressed out. I didn't call you to, to be doubting or trying to figure this thing out on your own. When you asked me to help you, I started revealing things. And because I started revealing things, it's like, have you not seen enough? Like, have I not showed you everything that you need to see in order for you to say, okay, I'm done with it. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't help build me up. It doesn't push me further in my relationship with Jesus. But he literally was showing me these things over the past couple weeks. And something so significant about watching The Chosen was the fact that Simon, I think between Simon, Matthew, and Mary, they are like my favorites. They are my favorites because I literally can see how you can come into, with all of them, they came face to face with Jesus. They were on fire for him, wanting to do everything that he said. They wanted to follow him to the best of their abilities. And it was something that made their journey with him unsettling, and it tested their faith, right? And so it was the space where they felt as though they were unworthy. All of them came to these terms where I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy because I'm a drunkard. I'm unworthy because I have unforgiveness in my heart. I'm unworthy because I was a tax collector and I went against my people. It literally showed all of these people unworthy. And I sat back and I'm like, I'm unworthy of where the Lord has brought me from, has met me at, has taken me to. And I don't even think that I'm worthy enough to have this relationship that I have with him, for him to actually give me a project or give me some type of assignment that I feel like, you could have picked someone else. Or are you sure that you want to use me? And he explained to each of them, like, it's not about how you feel about yourself, but I don't call the ones who have it all together. I call the most unqualified person. The person that got the anger issues, the person who, like I said, want to be at the bar, want to be, living in adultery or fornication or whatever, the tax collectors, the ones who want to fight all the time or have anger issues. Like, I literally call them. The ones who got a whole bunch of debt, I call them. And I'm calling them into these different spaces to show them that it's not you who are worthy. It's me who is worthy of changing you, of allowing you to see what I see in you. I see better for you. And so, like I said, this whole thing just came about because the Lord literally showed me like who I've been in the space of my finances. The Lord literally showed me that I hadn't relinquished my authorities or what I felt like ownership was for me to handle all of my finances on my own and just to keep on tithing. And it's like, he doesn't want just that 10%. He wants it all. And the only way that you can literally give him all of your finances is to give him the job, give him the bank account, give him whatever change you're making on the side, give it all to him. Because every time that I thought about trading it off, mind you, I kept saying to myself, this year, I should be able to do a lot more. Finances are being stretched this year. I'm coming up on promotion. I can still, move around and do all of these things. I'll be caught up on all of this stuff. And this will be like the best year financially for me. That's like overall, the Lord told me that this will be my year. But on my side, the part that I felt like I could keep control of is financially, this is going to be the best year. This is going to start opening up doors. This is going to start. I was going through this whole thing because, like I said, he showed me that he didn't have full control over my finances, but he also showed me that my finances had actually become like an idol. I don't worship money, but the opportunities that's been presented to me, it's been like the opportunities have been able to show me like where I am, like starting off in salary versus where I'll be if I stick with it. And just knowing that the end goal on that salary looked good. It's the most that I've ever made. And I'm like, I'm going to make it to that expected end because I want to have better and I want to do better. And it's like, even with giving my 10, it still became like an idol because like you hold the job over God. Like, you're holding those benefits because you're worried about healthcare and you're worried about dental care. Like, you're worried about all of these things over what the Lord can do for you, what the Lord is bringing you out of, what the Lord is trying to transition you into. And every time that I would think about this thing, I would think about, it's a meme. It's a little girl with a teddy bear. And on the opposite side is God with his hand out, trying to take that small teddy bear, and he has a bigger teddy bear behind his back. And it's like that exchange is so nice on picture, but when you're in that, and the Lord is literally trying, like he has his hand out to take everything that has been stressing you out, depleting your energy, running your finances low, stressing, depressing, all of these things. And he has his hands out, like laid at my feet. This is the altar. This is where the exchange for my burdens, like take my burdens upon you and give me yours. And it's like, it's so easy to look at, but it's so hard to do. Like I said, it's harder to do because in my case, I have people who are dependent upon the decisions that I make. And my thing is, Jada, make the right decisions, the best decisions that will benefit your family. And I just keep going back to this thing where it's like, the Lord literally wants more for you. He wants more for you, especially if he's chosen. Like, he took time to literally handpick you out of a bunch of people. He pulled you out of the club. Out of the group of people that you was going to the club with, he chose you. But he chose you, and he's cleaning you up, and he's allowing you to be transformed in front of those same people that you used to party with, that you used to smoke with, that you used to have sex with, that you used to work with. He's cleaning you up in front of them, and he's giving you something in exchange for all of the nasty things that you've done, or all of the greedy things and the lustful things that you've done, for purity, for salvation, for like his love, and ultimately better. Like to exchange that sleepless night for peace, that's a great exchange. That is literally healing, because you've exchanged all of your obstacles and oppositions for better, for peace, for comfort, for love. And I don't know what's better than that. And so right now, as I'm still in the space of finalizing decisions, when I tell y'all relying on the Lord, just understanding who he is, and why he does, why does he do some of the things that he's done in my life. I literally believe that the way that the Lord has pricked me and poked me and just set me apart is for a reason. And ultimately, I'm doing it. I'm giving glory to the Father, because when I cut this camera on, I'm not talking about Jada and all of the accomplishments that I've made and all of the things that I've overcome on my own. But literally, it's so hard for me to have a conversation and not acknowledge God, because I know for a fact that I couldn't have gotten this far without him. And he's shown me this time after time. You can't do this thing on your own. Why would you want to do this thing on your own? Like, the way that you can't keep money in your account, like you're supposed to be saving and you can't keep the money in the account. It's like the attack is so hard on your finances, because you literally have to be willing to uproot those things. You wanted to uproot the attitude. You wanted to uproot the way that you were talking to people. You wanted to uproot all of these other areas of your life to make sure that the foundation was laid smooth. And it's like, I'm trying to work on this one space, and you like, nah, you can have everything else, but you can't have this. That's literally how it be. And I'm like, I told y'all before, my surrender was in increments. I did it unknowingly. I surrendered in increments. And as you can see, it's not fun. This is not my advice to you to surrender yourself to the Lord in increments. No, surrender all of you at one time so he can work. And it doesn't mean that you're going to go cold turkey with everything that you're doing. It just means that you're trusting him with everything that you're doing, however you've been doing it. Like, you literally have someone to partner with in every room of your life, right? So I'm saying all this to say, we have to trust in the Lord. And I know it sounds so cliche. I know it's been redundant. I know you've heard it on repeat. But I'm saying it again. Trust the Lord. Because even though everything that I have going on right now, the smile that y'all see is for real. I'm talking about, like I said, this whole job situation, it's not finalized yet. I done been having car issues that just started. And I'm like, bruh, like, what's going on? And I'm still able to smile, because it's a peace that God has given me. Every time that he shows something to me, he's revealing these things to me. And I'm just like, wow, like, not that I never thought that this could happen, but the way that it's happening, it just surprises me, because, like I said, I thought that I had learned, I had grew, and turn from all of these things, or at least like my heart and my actions have been in alignment. And it's like, no, your heart may be like the heart posture that you have to keep pushing forward to be closer to God and to do better than yesterday, absolutely. But actions, like what you say versus what you do, sometimes it doesn't align. And the way that he's shown me is like, I thought I had worked on all of this stuff in the last season. But it's like, no, I feel like he pointed out things to me in the last season and said, this is what we're going to work on. This is where the work needs to happen. And then in this new season, he like, and now here's the work. This is where the hard work happens. This is where the endurance is built. This is where the perseverance happens. And I'm just here like, I didn't know he was going to uproot these things like this. But it's like, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. Like I said, to still be able to smile through the trials. Like, I couldn't do that at one point. It was literally tears, all tears. And to be able to say, you know what, even with all of what's going on, I'm still thankful. God gave me the ability to even have the transportation. God gave me the ability to have the skills to work in the workplace. He's given me all that I need already. I have food, I have clothes, we have fresh water, we have shelter. I have all that I need. And the fact that I can rest on his promises, I can rest on his word, I can rest in his strength and in his love. I have all that I need. And that's just where I am. Like, fear doesn't have me. Fear doesn't have control over me. Doubt and worry and shame and guilt, none of those things have control over me. And it's like, it feels good to know that the Lord would specifically tell me, like, I don't just want this portion of you. I want it all. I want the total, whatever that looks like. And then to start showing me how, you know, the ones that he had chosen, how they literally were in spaces where they felt comfortable. They felt like, you know, this was their best time. This is their prime. They were doing it up. You know, they were YOLO and all this stuff. And it's like, no, when he called them, when he selected the chosen ones, they said, you know what? All right, cool. I'm done with all this stuff. Let me wrap this up and let me go ahead and follow the Lord. And the way that they just wrapped it all up and they focused on the Lord, and as they were focusing on the Lord, they still felt unworthy. They still had questions. They still didn't know. Like, they didn't know that they were going on these missions. They didn't know that they probably didn't have shelter, or they was going to have to build tents, that they would have to go out and get food every day. They didn't know that they wouldn't have money on certain days. They didn't know these things. But they knew that they had the Lord everywhere that they went. Everywhere that they went. Whether they could physically see the Lord or they, you know, were just trusting that the Lord was with them. They had everything that they needed. And I'm just like, for one, I know why it's hard for us to believe, because we can't see God, but we can feel him. We can see the love letter, because that's what I also call the Bible, this love letter. Like, the love letter to us, which points out everything about him. Like, everything in that Bible points back to him, but it's a letter. It's literally a love letter showing us who he is. And it's like, we have that. We literally have just as much access as his disciples, as Moses, or whoever you want to compare to biblically, right? We have access to him. And I think that it's just depending on how much access you want. And so right now where I'm at, I want all access to him, the same way that he wants all access to me. I want to be able to just say, you know what? I'm not making a move unless God tells me to move. You know what? I don't want to buy this until the Lord, you know, tells me to buy this. I don't want to wear this until the Lord says, go ahead and do it. Like, that is me right now. And I've wanted to get here long ago, but it's like, it takes time. Like I told y'all a few episodes ago, when the Lord had asked me to do the fast, I wasn't mature. Like, spiritually, I wasn't mature. I wasn't ready. I was, in my eyes, I wasn't a babe in Christ, but I wasn't ready for the meat. I wasn't ready to take on everything that he's put in me now. What I will say right now is that he's allowing me to partake in the meat of it all, where now I understand the parables. I understand those metaphors. And I smile at them, because the one that I was stuck on yesterday is how the first will be last and the last shall be first. And it didn't make sense in the beginning, but it's like, if the farmer went out to get workers to help him for the day, no matter what time he went out, but he agreed to pay the same price for your work, whether you came and you worked 12 hours or you came and you worked 4 hours or just the hour, y'all all get paid the same thing. It's up to his discretion. At the end of the day, I feel like the Lord loves us equally. He calls us at different times. So depending upon when you were called or when you were chosen or when your eyes were open or when your ears were open to what he was saying or how he was saying it to you, it depends on when you actually took him seriously, that you will receive all that he had to give. And he's going to give you the same love and the same grace and the same honor that he gives all of his children. So I'm like, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Okay, cool. At the end of the day, we're all on the same playing field. He loves us equally. He loves us equally. So overall, what I'm really saying is that we have to be obedient. We have to continue to trust in the Lord. Know that what he has for you is greater than what you could even imagine. But as for now, just keep on doing everything that he's asking of you, because remember, he chose you. You didn't choose him. With that being said, I just want to go ahead and pray. Got a little gas. Father God, I thank you for everything that you are doing, all the ways that you are making now and the ways that you've already made. I thank you that you have come to prepare a way for us to just give to your kingdom, to support your kingdom, to help grow your kingdom. I thank you that you don't choose the people who we expect to be chosen, but you call the most least expected people to do the will of God. I thank you that he trusts you enough to come and hand choose us, Lord God. I thank you that in the process of being chosen, that we aren't worthy, but we grow to have a sense of worthiness in ourselves because of who you are. It is only by your name that we can continue to do the work of you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Make sure that you tune into next week's episode. I'm not sure if you got anything out of this, but I hope that whatever you're struggling with, whatever decisions you have to make, it becomes easier as you grow closer to God, because he wants your yes. That's the struggle right now, just being able to say yes to God, to being able to surrender everything to him. He wants all access. When I tell you an all access pass is what he wants, that's literally what he wants. That's what he asks for in exchange for salvation, for his love, for his grace and mercy and protection. Everything that comes with God's benefit package, it is only predicated on you giving him your yes. So I don't know what it is that you're struggling to give your yes about, but the Lord wants your yes, and he wants it now. He don't want you to delay, because at the end of the day, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. I don't know if you've been feeling like you've been last all this time, but he's ready to have you first. But you have to choose him first over everything by giving him access to all of you. Nothing more, nothing less, and that's it. Y'all, until the next time, toodles.